goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain.
Hey Cameron, I thought a bit more about what you said yesterday and
Hey Cameron, just called to say I love you and support you.
Hey Cameron, you wanna go on a date with me?
End of messages.
Yo, what's up, Cameron? Shh, dude, listen to this. Dude, that can't be real. I know. Dude,
He hasn't said a word since he's gotten here. Can you think of anything that might have triggered this or something?
No, I can't. Well, actually,
I see. And do you think any of these might have something to do with that? Perhaps some repression presenting itself?
oh, Cameron, I'm so sorry all this is happening to you. If any of this is my fault, just know that I love you. And your father loves you. We all love you and accept you, just the way you are.
The world's first transcontinental railroad, constructed between 1863 and 1869, was considered as one of the greatest American technological feats of the 19th century, with railroad track line over 1,752 miles long. Almost immediately after the train service was in operation, it replaced the far slower, more hazardous stagecoach and wagon trains as a faster, safer, and cheaper travel. The ticket for a one-week trip from Omaha to San Francisco on an emigrant sleeping car only cost $65 for an adult. Before that, it took 6 months and cost $1,000. Goods were moved efficiently over long distances, a third of all freight transported via the railway. In 10 years, $50 million worth of goods were shipped, and the California Gold Rush and Nevada Silver Rush were pushed further with the better transportation. The movement allowed businessmen to expand their industry and improved access to labor, skills, and information. The railroad also made the trip to visit friends and family more pleasant. Two railroad companies, the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific, raced each other from Omaha, Nebraska, and Sacramento, California, respectively. The Union Pacific recruited Army veterans, Irish immigrants, African Americans, and Mormons. Meanwhile, the Central Pacific recruited Cantonese laborers from California. Soon, the Chinese labor pool from California was exhausted, and the Central Pacific arranged with labor contractors to import large numbers of Chinese workers directly from China. As Charles Crocker, the founder of the Central Pacific Railroad, said, "The Chinese made the Great Wall, didn't they?" Despite the benefits of teaming up, there were many conflicts that popped up, such as Native Americans attacking the laborers, natural resources were destroyed to make way for the expanding train tracks, and mistreatment of the Mormons.
They needed more labor, and they contracted with Brigham Young to supply labor to build the railroad, make the grades and lay track and so on, and with the promise that they would be paid. Unfortunately, after the work was done, Union Pacific did not pay them as promised, and Brigham Young had to sue. But the only compensation that Brigham Young got was for railroad equipment that was used to build the Utah Central Railroad that connected Salt Lake City with Ogden.
Throughout all the conflict, the cultural differences between the Asian and Western workers were the most obvious and fierce. Very few Chinese laborers knew how to speak English, for they were mainly farmers with little or no education. They performed the most dangerous jobs with the least amount of payment. Chinese laborers did not receive the praise they deserved. None were to be shown on the final Golden Spike photograph. They were not listed on the company's payroll. Many nameless heroes were lost in history. To add more salt to the wound, those same Chinese workers faced more discrimination and hostility as anti-immigration sentiments grew in the U.S. Less than 20 years after the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which effectively barred immigration from China until 1943. This act may have been the first legislative action to exclude a group of people from immigration. The Chinese workers had different living habits of diet, self-care, and entertainment. They took opium as a form of self-medication to ease the pains and injuries as a bonus, drank hot tea, and spent more on food from their already low salaries. This is a typical hexagonal ceramic pot for loose leaf tea. Each green glazed side represents a virtue characterized by their gentleman flowers. Around the rim, this pot is decorated with the Lucky Cloud pattern. The Chinese workers' wages started at $25 a month, then grew to $30 to $35. After striking for higher wages failed, Chinese workers lost interest and hope in striking anymore. The company used the Chinese workers to compare and reduce the salary of other ethnic groups.
Discrimination was widespread with the Chinese immigrants. Chinese came to America to work on the railroads because there was a civil war or unrest in China, in the Toisan area, and that's where my descendants came from. So in the 1800s, when they were recruited by the railroad companies to come here, they came en masse. There was a lot of Chinese workers. Now, something that I did learn is that the Chinese workers were used to sort of be used against the other ethnic groups, that they were, the railroad bosses would say, well, the Chinese can do this, and we'll have the Chinese do this instead of the other ethnic groups. And so the ethnic groups were pitted one against each other to do this.
The Rock Springs Massacre, which occurred on September 2nd, 1885, was the result of intensified tension. It happened when white workers decided to kill multiple Chinese when more Chinese were hired over the white workers. Over 28 Chinese laborers were killed and 15 injured in this massacre. Another riot similar to the Rock Springs Massacre happened in Los Angeles. In the Chinese Massacre of 1871, a discriminatory mob attacked and robbed all of the local Chinese residents and killed between 19 to 23 Chinese residents.
There's evidence from Carlin, Nevada. Archaeologists recently reanalyzed 3 skeletons of Chinese workers, and each one of them had significant trauma. With the Chinese coming and working and filling up those roles, it was marginalizing other groups of people that wanted them. So that, in turn, and because the Chinese looked different than Europeans, they were the other. Many people refer to them as sojourners or celestials. And so it allows you to cast them as something different, as the other, and allows people to be stereotyped, and it's a lot easier to marginalize people like that and create hatred and towards them.
The climate in North America was dramatically different from the warm, humid conditions of southern China, where most of the Chinese workers came from. They have never seen snow before. When snow dredged the 1,659-foot Summit Tunnel in 1866, blizzards and snowstorms hit the workers along with below-freezing temperatures. Many bodies of Chinese laborers were found frozen in their tents a few months later, with shovels and picks in their hands. However, in the winter of 1867, the project was stalled due to minus 23 degrees Celsius, which created transportation difficulties. The Chinese labor raised the creative suggestion to lay a 37-mile ice road to haul the materials. Transportation was successfully resumed and construction was sped up. Jonathan H. Turner defines cultural conflict as conflict caused by differences in cultural values and beliefs that place people at odds with one another. Cultural conflict is a type of conflict that occurs when different cultural values and beliefs clash. It has been used to explain violence and crime.
If I was a Utah House representative or senator in 150 years ago, 149 years ago, I would fight for the same kinds of things that I fight for today. And that's actually saying something, that we're still fighting for this. Anti-discrimination, we want equal pay for our work, we want to be recognized for our work, we want to our community needs are just as important as anyone's community needs. We have our language and our culture should be celebrated, not be seen as something that is a burden.
Compromise does not always resolve conflict. The compromise to one party can even introduce new conflicts with another. As the dynamic trends among all parties showed, relationship conflicts are not merely problems to resolve. Like arrows, they point to the next step on the path of relationships. To be sustainable, resolutions to relationships, conflicts, need to acknowledge people's beliefs so that people can understand each other better. Among them all, laborers from different backgrounds have shown their teaming, intelligence, loyalty, skills, hard work, discipline, and capabilities to survive through their excellent achievements, which is boundless and eternal. Together, their efforts promoted modern technology and a modern sense of human rights. Those diversified elements and vitality formed a stronger and more colorful America. Save one life, you're a hero. Save 100 lives, you're a nurse. Our documentary is to record the achievements and the information gained through different perspectives and beliefs internationally. Most of our volunteers were mainly from the Poudre Valley Hospital located in Fort Collins, Colorado. Our team members consisted Michelle Zhang, Claire Reed, Tina Fung, Jennifer Sedmek, Christy Jenkins, Carrie Ferguson, Sarah Average, Kristen Nelson Anthony, Megan Townsend, Colleen Perez, Julie Kane, Trisha Staz, Jessica Jeffrey, Maria McLean, and me, Cami Yuan. All volunteers were responsible for their own international travel expenses. To fund for this trip, we raised almost $800 by having a bake sale, rock sale, and craft sale in both Colorado and Utah. Both groups started at their home destination to California. From there, they departed to China, within which they visited hospitals in Beijing, Yan'an, Xi'an, and Chengdu. At this station, we started our exchange seminar at the 3rd Hospital of Beijing Medical University. To share and learn as much as possible, we divided into 2 groups, the obstetrics and the NICU, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. To save time and money, we took a sleep train to Yan'an. This was definitely a brand new experience. We visited the NICU and the delivery room in batches and shared the exchange work experience with the doctors of the NICU. And in the hospital for everyone to share, we went to the patient and family-centered care, and Dean Lee also thoughtfully sent us sweet and delicious moon cakes, since it was the Mid-Autumn Festival. Everything was perfect until a technical discussion turned into a fierce battle on the way to the hotel. Our nurses noticed that all the hospitals didn't allow parents to step into the ICU unless they had to carry out the body after the baby passed away. This was very different from the United States ICU policy. According to their observation, the rate of the death is higher if babies do not have any touch from their parents. More than that, some babies have to stay in the ICU for months. Did that mean that they had to be separated from their parents for that long? With anger mixed with sadness, our volunteers cried out loud on the bus altogether. Xi'an Angel Children's Maternity Hospital, which is a famous private hospital of supreme service, the head of the hospital, Mrs. Lee, gave us a rigorous, meticulous, and thoughtful impression. During the on-site tour, we gathered tons of great feedback from their clients for their high-quality technique, top utilities, and advanced maternal care. Our nurses especially asked for their ICU policy, but was told there was no ICU in Angel. Afterwards, the nurses debated amongst each other about China's ICU policy again. Since the lead of our group, Michelle, was a former Chinese doctor who understood the fear of cross-infections, she didn't want rumors to be spreading in America about how the Chinese are so horrible towards young children. Claire, on the other hand, was shocked by this law and was emotionally upset.
And so that is a challenge that I have struggled with here visiting the different hospitals, because they keep the fathers separated from the mothers during the deliveries, and they keep the parents separated from the babies once they are delivered. And that to me has been the biggest challenge that I see.
All in all, we were all happy with Angel Families Centered Hospital and shared clinical experiences with nurses here. Longchuan Yi District Maternal and Child Health Hospital's month birth rate is 500 babies, which is way more than what Poudre Valley had. It is an eye-opener to us to learn how the outpatient system of children, healthy physical examination, and health checkups promote the development of newborn care. However, we were told that bedside nurses would be moved to the other position after 41 years old due to high pressure of the job nature, which made us very upset. The average age of our group is 45 years old. We knew our excellent experiences were at the golden peak. At last, our volunteer exchange activities were successfully completed in Chengdu's Xinhua Hospital. This journey was worthwhile. We were able to experience different cultures, lifestyles, and were able to inform nurses about our different policies of maternal care in the United States. Along the way, we met hospital staff, nurses, and lifelong friends. To us, everyone around me who cares about others and always wants to offer your help are heroes as well.
Charlie? You still there?
Hey boy, call me back when you can. I love you. Let me know I'm still awake, okay? So, like, call me. I don't plan on sleeping anytime soon, but I really want to talk to you. I love you. Love you. Don't forget to call me. Still awake. I love you. I'm gonna sleep, okay?
No. 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 End of story.
From Tennessee, right? No, because you're the only 10 I see. My name's Ted. You can call me anything you'd like, except for late for dinner.
Jimmy Michelson, glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Right this way to your new office space. Every day we take toys and ship them out to different companies. Through this door is actually where you'll be working. Hey guys, say hi to the new guy, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy!
What's up with this place?
Oh, you mean the boss. Yeah, he is kind of weird, but you'll get used to him.
Hey! You know what I said about Elf Freight? Turn that trash off!
It's early morning. We're building some toys. When I get my break, I'll drink some LaCroix. In 7 hours, I'll make my way home.
Get a good night's rest.
Then come back tomorrow. All my friends that I know, they all say that they want a job at the factory. Everyone loves their job and they all want to be the featured employee. No one knows why it's so great working every day here at the factory. It's kinda cheesy, but this job is the greatest place that I could be. From moving the toys to sweeping the floors to making sure that everywhere is clean. It's so great to work where everyone knows you and you have a daily routine. We work in a toy factory. We do it to make ends meet. We work in a toy factory. Working here is a dream.
You've been working kinda lazy and I haven't been impressed. When I ask you to clean, all you do is make a mess. Every day you come in late and pretend like it's okay, but no one wants to wait here for you. You take too long on breaks and it happens every day. A caveman could do what you do. You don't look like you try, zombie walking alive, and for that you are fired.
Bro, that's so cool. I'm saving the money for school. Haven't you seen? Been working so hard here for weeks. I need a job, cause you know that grind never stops. I just got asked, please Ted, give me one more chance.
Please Ted, let me back on the team. I'll work my tail off, you'll see.
Hey, why is everyone singing?
Are you serious? No one's singing.
We do it to make ends meet. We work in a toy factory. Working here is a dream. We work in a toy factory. Repetition is the key.
Honey, how was your day? Did everything go okay? Will we have money now to buy us a new Chevrolet?
Why are you talking that way? Is this a game you're playing? Whatever anyone says comes out in melody?
Maybe you should get some sleep, or we can get something to eat. Nothing's changed about me. Maybe you're just going crazy.
I don't need any sleep, I just wanna know why everyone in my life won't let me have, peace. I just wanna go to work, I don't want to think. Why does everyone sing? Everyone knows the words, but they aren't real songs. How does everyone sing along?
Why is everyone singing?
No one is singing.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
Everyone is singing.
No one is singing.
You're crazy.
I'm not crazy.
Are you crazy?
I am not
Everyone
crazy.
is singing.
You're an idiot.
No, you. I just wanna go to work, I don't want to think. Why does everyone sing? Everyone knows the words, but they aren't real songs. How does everyone sing along? I just wanna go to work, I don't want to think. Why does everyone sing? Everyone knows the words, but they aren't real songs. How does everyone sing along?
Hey, from Tennessee, right? Yeah. Because you're the only. I see what you did there.
Making toys for the shipment, getting up and working hard to pay the bills.
Gonna package up these boxes with equipment. All you need to work is entry-level skills.
I am working and I get paid minimum wage. I get up at 7 a.m. every day, making all these awesome toys for the precious girls and boys. We can bring them lots of joy. What a place to be employed, making all these awesome toys for the precious girls and boys. We can bring them lots of joy. What a place to be employed. How's it going, Tommy? Hope you've had a great day.
Someone got a haircut.
How's the wife and kids?
Hey there, new guy, my name's Jimmy. What do you say? Maybe we could grab some lunch right after this.
I am working and I get paid minimum wage. I get up at 7 a.m. every day, making all these awesome toys for the precious girls and boys. We can bring them lots of joy. What a place to be employed, making all these awesome toys for the precious girls and boys. We can bring them lots of joy. What a place to be employed.
Wait, why is everybody singing?
What are you talking about? There's no one singing.
First week back in school, just feeling like I'm cool. Walking through the halls like I don't care. Out the corner of my eye, she looks like she's gonna cry. That girl with the long blonde flowing hair. So I walked up to her, her tear-filled eyes looked into mine. My eyes looked into hers, took her hand and held it close. Took a deep breath, this is what I said. Hey girl, I'm here for you, don't you cry. Hey girl, it's okay, I'll be your guy. Every day, every day. Just look into my eyes and take my hands. Hey girl, I'm here for you, I'll be your man. Every day, every day.
Not a lot of people think about this, but I would strongly argue that the movie Monster Squad is the greatest motion picture made in at least the last 50 years. The biggest... Yes?
May I please use the hall pass?
You may, but make sure you take the right one, or else... No, I'm saying literal monsters could come. Welcome back.
The average American family is often only seen from the outside. Most families look innocent, like they're doing their best to live the American dream. This does, in fact, apply for most families. But then there are those families which we hear about every once in a while, providing a grim and ghastly narrative that makes one wonder how such bizarre events could have ever unfolded. These stories are usually never completely pieced together. Many jump to conclusions. Things are usually missing, misunderstood, or filled in for the sake of the satisfaction of knowing, or thinking one knows, what exactly happened. This is one of those events.
Haven't you had enough already? I'm not responsible for you overdosing on gluttony.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be grateful and quiet. Why don't you just take your dishes to the sink and go to bed?
Couldn't you have been a little easier on Steven?
Could you just shut up for a second?
All I'm saying is...
I don't care what you're saying. Everything you have is because of me and my work. So be a dear and clean up dinner and put the baby to bed.
You waste of space! You're late for school and your alarm clock's been ringing for half an hour. What are you, deaf as a bat?
It's blind as a bat, smart one.
Stupid actions require stupid repercussions. Now get dressed and get downstairs. Miranda's gone, so I'll be taking you myself.
Let me ask you a question. Why did you adopt me if you didn't care to have another child?
Let me out of here.
Seriously, who decided? You didn't need to adopt me. Other people would have taken me in, and you just had another baby as well. What, did your wife go off the pill, and then once the child was conceived, your personal values conflicted with aborting it? Because, wow, you can beat your wife, yet you claim you're a man of morals.
If you want to know, let me out of here. Let me out!
Be bright, you dim bulb. You think yelling at me all loud like will make me let loose the lion from the cage? No. You'd have to kill to stop me. But last time I checked, you're tied to a chair, so that won't be possible, will it? At least for now, because the movie's the good guy always finds a way out. But wait, are you the good guy? I mean, who is the good guy here? Me or you? I mean, yeah, I did tie you up and I am going to torture you and eventually kill you, which does seem a bit excessive, but isn't bashing my head on an alarm clock excessive for waking up late? What about beating your wife? Isn't that excessive because she spilled dinner on your suit, right?
Why don't you just let me go and we'll just say it was an accident?
Look, I am so sorry that you turned out to be a jerk, but I don't see that happening. You can't cure whatever terribly rude bug you have inside you. I'll be nice and I'll tell you what I'm planning on. So, your wife left for work about 45 minutes ago, right? And she gets home at 3:30, yeah? Yeah. Well, I have no intentions of having you alive at that time. I mean, this was never really a thought-through plan, sadly. I got too angry and fueled up, and I took it out on you too soon, and for that, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to face the consequences for this soon. Yeah. Well, I better make the most of my free time. The way I see it, if I'm gonna get in trouble, at least I'm gonna have the pleasure of knowing that I followed through with what I started. So, you ready to have some fun?
Stephen! Stephen! You stay away from me. Do not come close.
Your own stupidity is torturing me. Holy Havana. How many times do I have to tell you? As long as you're tied up, you can't tell me what to do. Mistake. Don't worry, you're still getting it.
Hi, we're with Troop 667, and we were wondering if you wanted any Girl Scout cookies.
How much are they?
$4, so...
Alright, I will take a box of Thin Mints. How's that sound? Yeah? Alright, I'll be right back.
He was pretty cute. No near as hot as Davy. The internet dude with long hair, blue beanie, and funny personality? Yes, that's the one. So, I think you're bleeding.
How'd that? You know what? I'll take the cookies and I'll go take care of this. Okay. Bye.
Stephen! Somebody help me! Anyone!
Shut up. This should drown out the yelling. So, get this, some Girl Scouts saw the blood on my head, and they did not like it. Okay, they were horrified. But anyways, you know how innovative I am, right? I went ahead and attached an EMS device to a taser. Wow. Jeez. I see what they mean. It's not very graphic, but boy, is it fun. Wow. You know, the best part is, you can't bargain your way out of this because I'm just trying to have fun.
Well, that's that. I'm leaving you now, and I won't be coming back. I said I'm leaving you now, and I won't be coming back.
Steve, I am so sorry for what I did to you. I never should have got that upset. There were things that happened to me when I was a kid. It hurt me. And it made me angry. Let me out of here. And I promise I will change. We'll act like this whole thing never happened. Let me out, and I promise you I will never hurt you again.
Wow. That was a touching story. And maybe if I felt emotions in the same way that, other people appear to, I would feel sorry for you and let you out, and maybe even forgive you for beating me and your wife, although honestly, I don't care much for her either. I still acknowledge that it's socially unacceptable. Issue is I use logic, and logic tells me you're saying that to get out of this situation. You know that, right? Anyways, I've found out some fun information about your own personal childhood growing up. You were both abused, you and your brother were both abused by your stepdad, weren't you? Well, when he died, I went through his attic and found a bunch of fun little tapes.
No.
Yeah. So what's on these tapes? The reason that you go to those little doctor appointments every week? I guess the better term for it would be a psychiatrist, but if that's what you gotta say to hide your weakness, so be it. You and your brother were both pigs and both got Well, he got, and now you're about to get exactly what you both deserved. You know, you are way worse than he ever was. He took him 16 years to make him get what he deserved, and well, you've managed to do it in a matter of weeks. So, let's watch this tape, huh?
No. No. No! Please don't do this. Don't do this.
You are watching this tape, whether you like it or not, because the alternative for you is so much worse.
Hey, boys! I'm making this tape to remind you of what happens when you choose to misbehave.
No, Dada! No, please! No!
Next time you think about misbehaving, you boys can just watch this. Just to know what's coming for you.
Ah! Stop! No! Stop it!
I'm teaching you a lesson.
Ah!
Stupid actions have stupid repercussions.
No! Stop it!
I'm teaching you boys about life. Life will beat you if you don't beat it back, and right now. Life is beating you.
I won't do it again! Stop! No!
Turn this off.
No. Watch it. Watch closely.
Stop it.
Watch it. How's it feel?
You're participating in a tape that's going to remind you who the man of the house is and who you respect.
And all this ruckus. I forgot we had a baby in the house.
No. No, you have no right.
You know, you hear it crying. It needs somebody. It needs something. It needs love. It needs affection. It's calling out for you. It's such a pity you're the father. It'll never get what it needed. I can see it now in the future. Just tortured, sad, depressed. Won't really be a life worth living, will it? Oh, a life worth living, huh? Well, I think I know what I'm gonna do about it. And it's gonna mess you up. Whatever heart you have left, far more than this tape can.
Don't you do it.
Yeah. What is this? Are you carrying? Is this emotion that I see? Where is this coming from? You know, you are completely confusing. You know, you're trying to make me pity you or something? You sly fly. You're getting me off topic. You know, I'll be back. I'll be back in a sec. Actually, hold on. I need to make sure we actually have time for this. So, you know, cross your fingers for your baby's sake. Sorry.
No. Don't. You don't have a right. You don't have a right.
It's been a long and exhausting day, and I needed a glass of OJ. Well, we all eat blood in our steaks anyways, right? What's the difference?
You are so sick and twisted.
It's funny. Isn't that how society also defines wife beaters? Well, it has been my pleasure torturing your weak little mind, and well, now I gotta go put all my stuff away and make sure it's all nice and neat for the cops. I want to give them a nice, tidy impression of me, and I gotta find something to kill you with. You know, I'll make sure it's something cool, something you can brag about once you reach the other side. Anyways, you know, she'll be home in 30 minutes, right? And in 15 minutes, you'll cease to exist. Perfect. I found the perfect... Ah, crap.
Just like the movies, right? Good guy gets the bad guy, and the bad guy gets his justice.
How innocent are you, really? That you're just as much of a bad guy as I...
Honey? I'm home. Why is the basement door open? Are you here, honey?
Miranda. No, it's not what it is.
It's not what you think.
Don't run!
Why? Why? Why did you run? None of this would happen if you didn't run! You ran!
This hour's breaking story, a terrible tragedy out here in Ranchview, Colorado, where a few teens witnessed a horrible sight. Now, according to what police have put together, a man went mad and shot himself, but not until after he had killed his newly adopted nephew, and then his own wife right out in the front lawn. The man did have a baby, which the police found crying but unharmed. The baby appeared to have been hidden away by its cousin during this ordeal, and although found unharmed, did have blood on it. It appears that the cousin also placed a binky in its mouth to silence and hide the baby from the rampaging father. Now, investigators do say the nephew had tried to fight back against the uncle, managing to smash a coffee pot over his head, but was ultimately overpowered. Girl Scouts who visited the house today say the teen answered the door and was bleeding, but they didn't take notice of it until after he came back with money. In the basement, police found where the uncle appeared to have tortured the boy with a taser. Now, this is not the first recent unfortunate event for the boy either, as he was adopted by his uncle, the man who murdered him, after a house fire killed his own parents only 5 short months ago. That house fire appeared to be arson. Police have yet to find the perpetrator of that crime, but are still looking.